better here.
I think it's a decent pick this game. The only other good Sven I saw was on Unknown. Their star player was playing Kotaru or whatever. He played a really good Sven. Went very greedy for early farm, and then in the mid to late game was really carrying his team. And I think against a PL, it's a great hero because they're going to have trouble finding which PL is real. Now he just attacks once, and you're like, okay, there he is. Attack him, guys. And plus you can Stormhammer multiple illusions. They're jumping on your supports. It's a great pick here. And as well, Warcry is going to give his whole team physical damage, which is almost entirely what PL does for damage. Diffusal Blade as well adds a physical component. So with Warcry, they're going to be very, very much in a good place. The downside is that Mousesports has a bounty hunter, and if Sven gets tracked, that means that everybody that Sven is chasing is going to run 20% faster. So those guys are going to have some trouble getting away, or they're going to be able to kite Sven at least. And bounty hunter with Janata and Rubik Lift may also pose that problem. It's a major issue with Sven is that people can usually get away from you because you only have 2 seconds for stuns. So.
What do you think about item builds for Sven, or is it too early to tell?
I think it's pretty standard. Midas is a mistake. I think you don't really need it. You already farm so fast with the hero. The only time I would say go for Midas for sure is if you're delaying your great cleave levels by a lot. But the way Kotaru played it is the similar way I played it in pubs at least, is you max cleave pretty darn early. Maybe sacrifice levels of Stormhammer. Kotaru actually completely skipped Warcry until like level 14, which I thought was a little questionable.
That's a little weird.
But the stat points give you a lot of extra damage with the way God's Strength works. Every time you get a strength increase, that gives you an extra damage with the level in God's Strength, so you're getting extra value there out of your stats. Stats are pretty darn good on Sven. So probably just Treads with Mask of Madness is completely core, and then you get a BKB if you need it. This game might be able to get away with the BKB, and if that's the case, Void Boys could actually really transition to heavy damage mid-game. You could do Armlet if you want to, it's really cheap, but then you have item slot problems. Usually it's just Daedalus, AC with BKB and Mask of Madness, and at that point you're mostly out of item slots, and you can transition a bit later, but Sven definitely is a good late game carry, but the problem is that he runs out of item slots so fast. They're pretty much around 40-50 minute mark he's set, but he's perfect hero versus PL, so despite that item problem in the late game, I think he's still going to be a really good pick.
But there is the Invoker coming up from Mousesports, and especially a Quaswex Invoker might be a bit tough for Sven to deal with early on in this game, and I'm not sure if Black or I think Black plays this for Mousesports, and then Koikfa plays the more farming oriented here, but then again, I don't really know. I'm actually not sure.
I don't think so this game, because
yeah, this does feel like a Black Phantom Lancer game, and then but I've never really seen Koikfa play Invoker that much. I'm sure he has played it. I'm sure I've casted a game of him playing it, but I can't remember one off the top of my head. And it's kind of an interesting pick actually coming out here, but it's still, I think it's a very good pick because Quaswex, the control that it provides, I think it's going to be very good, especially against some squishy supports like Disruptor as well. So
well, it's a lot of low mana heroes on Void Boys. Disruptor is usually not a hero that buys Arcane Boots, maybe forced into it if it is Quaswex. So and Sven definitely has huge mana problems. Clockwork has some mana problems. If he can land an EMP Tornado, it's going to be significant in the scope of a team fight. So it'll prevent them from being able to do things. It's more of like a 10 to 30 minute problem. After that, everybody's got enough mana in most cases. So if it is Quaswex, it could be very good. In terms of Sunstrike, yeah, it's definitely not going to be Exort Invoker. It's End Disruptor, Spear Breaker for the Subskull. Probably not. Probably Quaswex. That's the most popular build right now. So, and yeah, I think that'll be good. It can create a lot of space for Phantom Lancer. If he gets in trouble, you can always lift your opponents or mana drain them. And definitely Blast is going to help a lot. If BKB's down on Sven, if you can disarm him for a couple seconds and let your team just run over him, it's going to be a really good thing. But
so, who do you favor in the draft right now, or after the draft is complete?
I really like Mouse's draft this game. Better than Void Boys. I was wrong in the last game, but that was play more than picks in my opinion.
And now they have, not only are Mousesports are easily the favorites, they played so well, they have the confidence at their back after that last game. They have a good draft as well. Bulba's going to be on the darks here, going for the early Soul Ring. He actually sells the rest here, puts it down. I'm not sure. I think he sold it.
Probably sold it for an Ironwood Branch instead. It's kind of a greedy pick early on. What if 19 HP is the difference between you dying? So Pilot Eye immediately runs the top lane, going to plant an Observer Ward. I assume he has one. Yeah, very, very common.
Or Venom too.
Yeah, that's a early pickup. The nice part is you can get it from base now, so you don't have to run to the secret shop to buy that. So you can get to plant the ward and having the. He'll probably even tag this Disruptor a few times. Well, maybe not. If he does, it makes it clear that he is an Observer Ward. They spot that he is in the area. Yeah. They've got a Sentry Ward. But using it at this stage is not likely to lead to anything.
You have no idea where he's running.
Solo. Yeah, and that. So will he place an aggressive Observer Ward? Is he scouting out the enemy team? I'm not really sure. I assume that he will try to block, but it's not that big of a deal, actually. Darkseer doesn't care that much about the state of the pull spots, because he can always shift over and take farms. So Looks like Void Boys is looking to contest the top rune. Darkseer will not be able to grab that by any means, and on the other side of the map, Mouse is going to trade it out. So Black is 20-4 on Invoker in Pro Dota 2 matches since TI4. He has the highest total wins, win percentage, and GPM on the hero of any pro with more than 5 Invoker games. With the voice of reason, he was on one of the best Dota 2 teams since TI4. So that may influence his stats, but he is definitely a very good Invoker.
I'm surprised they don't pick out, they don't grab that hero more often, honestly, for Black. They grab it a fair bit, I'm sure, but still, the Invoker for him, just it feels comfortable. He plays it so well. He is going for the Exhort. We talked about it being a possibility, and there we go. They're going to pick it up. Now there's going to be the Thunderstrike as well on Pylai Die. Do they have that Sentry still up for Flyer Swan?
They'd have to like bash 4 times in a row or something.
Yeah, they're not going to go for the kill. They actually just throw a lot of damage his way. And he only has 3 tangos as well, so.
And you know what else? That's a support bounty hunter. Do you really want to drop sentries and focus that hard on a support hero? Not really. He might be able to grab the courier. It's going to be very close. Will he be able to get it? He's trying. He's not close enough. That was so close. That would have been 175 gold to everybody on Mouse's team. The courier again comes out, giving them another chance. He saw that going back. What happened? Did he have 3 pooled? Oh, he's going back.
He is going to get the second chance.
Round 2, he's not going to get it. I think he's too far.
What's the courier doing? He actually might have been able to get it. Maybe that was the better play. The llama is going to sit underneath the tower.
He's going to wait for this. They ping for it. They're like, oh, he's probably here. We haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, they know he's around there.
All right, I like this. Going high ground. He's going to invis, and he's going to go back. It won't be spotted that way.
Secret agent mission for the bounty hunter.
Which way will it go?
It's going to go all the way around top, maybe?
This is so dangerous.
It's going to go back through mid. He doesn't see it. Can he wrap around on time? We'll be able to get vision of it. There's Dota action happening elsewhere.
Nothing else matters. Oh, great. Now he's going for it, and we're going to look away. Oh, he gets it. Oh, come on. We committed a good 2 minutes towards watching Bounty Hunter snipe the courier, and then he looks away. Observer mistake.
Good work, Pylai Die, getting that courier after a long-winded run. You've earned it, my friend. A minute and a half spent trying to hunt that damn thing down. That poor llama dead in the dirt for a while.
Completely worth it. 10 experience, but most importantly, a lot of gold. Oh, and
the haste run. He gets bashed up once. No second bash for Fly.
This has become the story of the Bounty Hunter. We actually looked at nothing else with Bounty this game. But
there's Dota action happening elsewhere. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Right now, there is going to be a telekinesis into that Spirit Lance. I don't think they dive this. They don't have nearly enough damage. And they are going to throw out the Rocket Flare from Omega Pwn or Koikfa. Does have the Creep Wave under the tower and another Spirit Lance at the ready. He says, no, I don't think so. We don't do enough damage. But Bulba, meanwhile, the top lane, he's going to get caught out. Surge away. Glimpse already went through. Charge not going to be completed. Pylai Die will walk in. Maybe went a bit too early on that Glimpse. I'm not sure. I didn't see the beginning engagement. So
yeah, it's a hard kill. The Spirit Breaker being low level as a support, if he was maybe a range hero with a stun, they could definitely kill him. But as a melee hero, it's not quite the same, especially because the stun is pretty low. It doesn't do damage with one skill point. I'm not sure what Spirit Breaker's level is quite yet, but it did look like they blocked the pull camp for a while, but it has been dewarded, and now he's just picking up level 2. So not a very good level 2 support compared to the typical, but if he does a good job, he can translate really well in the mid game.
We'll have to wait and see. Maybe he gets involved in some ganks early on here. 3 minutes, no deaths yet except for that courier. Rest in peace. That llama's still dead in the dirt. Now, of course, 13 last hits coming up for Koikfa in the middle lane on that Invoker.
Ooh, the Invis Bounty Hunter with Iron Shell.
That's actually so frightening. That Iron Shell so very good.
They have the sentry down, and he's only got 1 Invis.
See, that's the ward trap I was talking about, but he's not going to go for it. He's actually out of mana. He's still level 1, no level 2 Janata or Shuriken Toss coming through. There's the side pull coming in from Bulba. They don't see Pylai Die, but the Iron Shell and Mercy, please.
He doesn't have much time left, only about 10 seconds, and they're going to walk away. They can notice. If they're paying attention, it doesn't always show, but you're like, oh, I'm losing HP. What's up with that?
Oh my god, melee hero against double Iron Shell. That's frightening. The double Iron Shell for the Sven's being real rough. 7-4-7 in the middle lane, 16 last hits, almost tied up with the Invoker.
That's really good for Invoker.
Yeah.
And look at his skill build, the Viper skill build. Maybe he should have gone more Nether Toxin here. I guess, it is Exhort Invoker, so if it was a Quas Wex, I'd be like, go heavy Nether Toxin and outlasted him, but this is a safer build for getting kills. And again, look how much stuff Bounty Hunter's doing. Snipes the Courier, secures 2 runes that could have led to a First Blood mid, potentially.
So
way too Invis on the bot lane. He's going to be lifting him up, throwing him back. He's got the nuke as well, and it's going to be a kill, I think. Here comes the nuke. They don't even want to use it.
Yeah.
And PL gets the first blood on bot lane, so nice kill for PL there. That's boots for him, 900 gold. And that's going to make things a little bit more dangerous for Void Boys going to the mid game if your carry does get that.
Yeah, the quick foot PL down bottom, sitting at the high CS, now has the first blood to his name as well, up to 1,000 gold, could buy his treads if he wants to. So the skill build for Phantom Lancer this game, do you think he goes for an early Diffusal Blade, or maybe he picks up a Yasha early on here? What does he do?
That's the item build, but he's got a stat point in here. Not going for Phantom Rush. I actually kind of like that choice. You know, if you go for the Yasha build, it helps you farm more by the time you hit like the 40-minute mark, or the 30-minute mark really. But if you do want to do any kind of early teamfight engagements, the Diffusal Blade is far superior because it increases your illusion damage by about double versus the very slight increase of Yasha. The movement speed's good, obviously, but it only does so much. They might go for a Viper kill here. Black's trying to get him low. There's Sunstrike. It's actually going to hit with the Cold Snap as well. And the ultimate, this should be Pylai Die's death. Will he die first? He does go down. And actually, Suzy is still alive completely. He stayed alive just barely. The skill build of him completely paying off. Really nice save there by Void Boys, and I thought he was dead as soon as that Sunstrike hit.
That beautiful stick charge coming through from that Viper actually saved his life. I'm not sure if he had many on that stick, but it still worked out in his favor. He walks all the way back home. He threw up the Viper Strike as well, gets the kill onto Pylai Die, and that's unfortunate because Pylai Die was having such a good time, but he rotates back up top. Mercy Please actually gets hit up now. He pops the War Cry. Surge is going to go through from Bulba. Sunstrike got to come in, but he dukes around it, hanging around the tower. Mercy Please dying slowly to this Iron, so he's like, please, for the love of God, stop chasing me. Bulba in trouble. They have the Thunderstrike and Pylai Die. They might get two here. Bulba is about to fall. The last right click coming through. Nice. They'll get it done. No double kill. They pick up one with a split, and then Schwan the Disruptor gets the other onto that Darkseer. In the end, they do get this Sven, but is it worth it?
I think it is. It's a little bit weird, but I think that's okay. Because the Sven, if he does have some farm problems, he might not be able to compete with the PL, who's doing really well. So it could create this situation where the enemy carry is so underfarmed compared to the PL that he's not able to deal with him in a good way. So I think that was okay. I mean, they are creating pressure on the map. The supports are then pressuring top. They're not ganking mid. That gives Invoker a decent time. I assume he's getting close to his Midas. Yeah, he's a mere 500 gold away from this. Good Midas timing coming for Black on the mid lane. So I think it's okay. It's not terrible for Mouse. Obviously not perfectly ideal, but better than nothing.
Yeah, and this Invoker's crushing this mid lane. He has 21 denies. That's actually ridiculous. The Forge Spirits are going to work now. There's a DD on Pylai Die, but they have that Sentry up. They're going to charge him. Do they have detection? Fly walks in. He pops it up as well. Bash not coming through just yet. They need the Viper Strike from 747. The body block's coming through.
It doesn't do anything.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, he's Shadow Walk. I'm not sure why.
There's the Bash. That's going to be it. Ultimate.
They don't even need it. They're just going to right-click him down, and 747 gets the kill. That Bash comes in. That 17% coming through finally.
I was a little unlucky. He had about 4 or 5 hits. Pretty close. I think 17% is like every 6.
He spent like half a second body blocking when he didn't need to either. I was like, that Shadow Walk, he's just going to walk right through it. He's like, oh, maybe I should do this. Look at that glimpse back onto the top lane, but he's going to juke the other way with the Surge coming through. Viper's not there to cut off the retreat. There's going to be the Viper Strike on Black. Doesn't have that Wex point. Black taking some damage. This is going to be enough for 747. Jukes through the tree line. 747 can't find him. Sunstrike not coming in. It's on the other side. Black getting charged down.
There's the Cold Snap. That was a mistake.
Now the right
click dies.
Yeah, they're going to get the kill. It is going to be a trade. Fly doesn't have a TP. He's stuck in the tree line. Bulba's going to Iron Shell and just right-click Fly down. It's going to be a 2-for-1. And the Telekinesis comes in. It actually does kill Black, but Black might have died anyways with the charge coming through.
Yeah, I think the Telekinesis was the wrong direction. Sometimes you always think like, oh, throw him towards your allies that because he's in danger, but really one more hit there secured the kill on the Invoker. If you would have pulled him maybe towards the tree clump to the right side, I think Viper still would have died, and it could have given Invoker enough life to turn around and kill the Spirit Breaker. Spirit Breaker basically got him with the initial charge hit. He might have been stuck by himself. That was just unfortunate for the toss, but Pylai Die gets more experience. He's almost at level 5 now while also creating a lot of space on the map. He's 1-3-0, but honestly, this is pretty typical for sport bounty hunters. They do way better than their stats normally show because they do create so much space and create a lot of problems for the enemy.
It's not uncommon for him to be like level 3, maybe even level 2 at this point in the game if they're having a rough game, kind of, and that's fair. And the fact that he's going to have level 6 pretty soon after he hits this level 5 is going to be huge. Track, any trade that they take is going to be favoring them from this point on. They're going to get so much gold, and at that point it's going to be so easy to snowball out of control. Pylai Die will hit bottom. He's going to right-click Omega Opponent with a Janata. They do have 1 point Shrukatar. Sunstrike into the cogs. He's actually killed himself. Black does get the kill just barely with the Sunstrike, by the way. So that'll get him some extra gold. And that's actually the Midas that comes out as well. 9-minute Midas coming through with boots first. He's actually been dominating this lane, even with that death, but still, it is going to be that Midas coming through for Black.
You can't be too unhappy about that, and More experience coming to Bounty Hunter. It doesn't give him 6 though. 6 would allow him to really power level his gold game, but level 6 Disruptor here is something they could definitely go on. The charge is coming through, but really good position there by Disruptor. The fact that he's even level 6 at this point is amazing.
Right.
As a support, especially a Disruptor who can't just naturally jungle or something like that. He's been able to get a lot out of his lane.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Forge Spirit mid as well as Black, they're backing away. Viper is very dangerous at this point. There is no point in Wex, so he can't just Shadow Walk or rather Ghost Walk away. 747 is going to just back away as well. He's just going to farm up. Top of net worth right now, it is the Phantom Lancer. It is Black as well up in the top 2. PL sitting on Treads and Aquila and a Quelling Blade. Nothing indicates he's going for Diffusal or Yasha just yet. In the meantime, Wei2's got to pick up a Haste Rune. He's got Arcanes as well. He's almost level 6. Pylai also almost level 6. So they're getting close. Meanwhile, Darkseer's mech pretty close to completion. I believe he has a full head there as well as a full buckler. Dust is going to come through. Pylai that's not even, Pylai nowhere near. Meanwhile, Omega Opponent throws out the hookshot into a hasted Rubik. That is not going to work. Pylai's mid, and they might try to go on 747 here.
Shrek going to start things off. He gets the Invis hit. Cool little trick for Bounty Hunter players. Press Invis, immediately hit them, and you get the free bonus damage and get a second one later. So that's what he did for the trick there. Just a little bit of free harass. Keep the Viper low. There's a glimpse back. Wei2's not going to be able to survive this one. Gets charged on in a couple of hits, and he will go down. Gets the charge. Might be able to. Ooh, nope.
Bash. Last hit bash. Sunstrike coming out of 747. Doesn't walk into it, but still taking a lot of damage to the Spirit Lance. Koifa, there is going to be Static Storm, but he only hits the illusions. Oh, Schwan, he can't be happy about that. Glimpse is not there either. It's down for 12 seconds. I think he used it on maybe an illusion. I'm not sure, but still. They lose 747. They don't get anything out of the rotation from the Disruptor or from Fly, even using that ultimate there. And Pylai is now level 6 with 1,000 gold in the bank.
And I think the biggest loss about that was that the fast Static Storm didn't produce anything, and now it's on cooldown for the next minute. So Disruptor maybe could have shifted towards Boba, for example, secured that kill. Even if he surges, you do a bunch of damage through that, and could definitely have gotten a kill off somewhere. But unfortunately, the Viper got dived a little too hard in it. Maybe he could have gotten if he kinetic fielded first. I'm not quite sure. It was looking kind of close, but you can't miss those when you're playing Disruptor at this level of play, because they should be a kill every single time. Great smoke here. Looking for the kill. There's the Ion Shell to start things off.
Surge.
And Surge as well.
They're going to go into Telekinesis, and this is probably going to be a dead Mercy, please. He does get the stun off, but here comes the charge in, and it hits both of them as well. He actually might save their life. The Shuriken Toss comes through. Not nearly enough damage. Wei2 is going to fall for this. They turn it around, and that track does not produce any kill. That's actually a big turn. Fly was baiting that pretty well. He was in the tree line. He was waiting for a long time for that. They'll track up again, but here comes Schwan. Thunderstrike's going to come through. They have the Sentry Ward. Glimpse back should be available for Schwan. He is going to use it. Waits a long time for it, but Pylai last couple of right clicks. The Storm Hammer. Mercy please really wanted that double, and he does find it. He says, give me that.
They almost lost Sentry Ward. Hookshot. Does he get him? He does. Actually, there's creeps nearby, so both of them
nice vacuum.
On trouble. Surge comes, and there it is. A double kill there for Void Boys. They're cleaning things up. Mech was purchased on Bobo before he goes down, but Koikva on the other side of the map's like, guess what's happening?
He does go for the Asha. He doesn't want to participate in kills as early as maybe you'd think so. And he is farming up pretty well. So despite them losing 3 heroes, they're still getting a lot of the map with Black on the Invoker and then, of course, Koikva on the PL as well. So that's nice for Void Boys, but it's not what they need just yet. They need a lot more than that. We'll see how the Sven is able to keep up in terms of farm. TP came down bottom, I believe it was from the Spirit Breaker. He'll get some solo experience. He is level 6 as well, even almost level 7 in fact.
I like the fast Helm of the Dominator that the Sven made here. He's stacking Ancients, as you can see by the map. Grabs the little range creep and pulls it out very, very easily. If you're diligent about this, that is a ton of farm for you on the map. And you can disassemble Helm of the Dominator now. So if he does still want to get Mask of Madness, he can. What do you do? What do you make with the helm, the other helm then? You could make an armlet. So if he doesn't necessarily want to stick with a helm, which I think he doesn't want to, he's guaranteeing himself a lot of farm. I actually like this style a bit more than Mask of Madness one. And look how survivable he was in that last gank. He had 5 armor, far more than you normally expect. He tanked all those nukes and all those right clicks and completely turned around with the help of the Spirit Breaker. So I really like this playstyle, or at least the slight item difference coming out of this Sven. Don't focus your supports on stacking for you. You do it for yourself, and you make yourself survivable in the meantime.
If he wants to get as much farm as possible with the Helm of the Dominator, you talked about the stacking already, and that means he's going to be going for kind of more of a later game-oriented build. He didn't get that max out in Warcry. He has the 4 points of the Great Cleave, so it's clear that he just wants to farm a bit for a period of time. And when it comes to stuff, he will be able to man fight up against Koikva a little bit later on down the road. Whether or not he wins that man fight remains to be seen. So
should max out Stormhammer here, I'm guessing. I'm a little unsure about this build, but the damage is very good. 325 in AoE can certainly swing some team fights if you catch it on 2 or 3 heroes. But the Warcry is also very good. I'm not completely settled on that. But there's a lot of magic damage on Mouse, so it's something that can be argued. But almost every player will max out Stormhammer in most cases, so Warcry eventually will be useful.
There's the mech for the Viper, a bit later than Bulba's in that offlane. 747 has completed ups. There is going to be a push down bottom with Quakefoot throwing up his illusions. I think they might have smoked behind the illusions, getting ready to go. It's actually just the Bounty Hunter who's just in Viz. There is a smoke as well from Blue and Wait. They're ready to fight this. In fact, they're maybe to go right on 747. The Spirit Land comes out, the surge forward on 2, lifted well, the Sunstrike in trouble. They have the mech, they misses. They missed the
Static Storm, but a 3-man Cog's going to help out.
Viper Strike comes in, Vacuum comes through, Viper Strike stolen, 747 is finally going to go down, but so is Black Fly in trouble on the backside, gets right click down, not dead yet. Do they have a Spirit Lance? They don't, it looks like. Quakefoot still trying to find him, charge out, can't do anything there. Omega Opponent on the run, he's down to a little bit of HP, but he should go to, of course, Quakefoot's Doppelganger coming in from just a second. They have 3 dead on the dirt for Void Boys, and that turns into a pretty good fight coming out from Mousesports, and that big thing, that missed disruption again coming through.
The static field is really needed to hit there. They're going on the Sven a bit. So this is the scope of the previous fight, pulling the Viper out of position. Sunstrike does not land on him, and the Static Storm, they got out just in time here. Great Cogs as well to catch a couple of heroes, but Shuriken and Toss, and at this point they just worked them down slowly. It looked like such a messy fight, but once their spells were casted, Void Boys just really couldn't sustain here.
Fly almost made it out with that charge. I think it's right clicked by way too. Omega Poner in the last little seconds, and he just couldn't get out with the Doppelganger from Quakefoot, the last right click.
That's 3 tracks. Like, imagine what would have happened if they won that team fight. It would have been a completely different gold gain there. And the Sven as well, we'll see if he does actually get killed here. Lifted in the air, pulled back, and that's also going to be robbed from us.
He did die. He died.
All right, we know. He also stayed too long, and he did end up going down. So
he was right under that tier 2 tower. He thought he was safe. Oh,
hey guys.
Hey everybody.
We're still here. It is early. It feels late for me. Stacking up again, and now he will start on this. God's Strength is completely worth it for jungling here. At least killing stacks. Look how much damage that is. Cleave is by far one of the most efficient ways to increase your damage output, but it forces there to be a lot of units in the area. Yeah. Wouldn't it be cool if Cleave just allowed you to do more damage to the single target as well? That would make sense. So you're cutting a bigger piece out of their flesh.
Either that'd be rigged though.
It would be. They would have to adjust the values for sure.
Omega Poner is gonna. He actually thinks Pilot Eye is still in there. He tries to go for the cog push or the cog block. I'm not really sure what he thought was going to happen, but
push him to high ground. Know for sure if he's there.
Yeah, that's true. Quakefoot is going to be farming up top. I think they got that tier 1 tower as well. There is an observer ward placed on the high ground over the Roche pit. And you can see the Void Boys are kind of gathering around it here. Actually, it was on the
ward there.
That's the Ancients. That's very important. Make sure that the Sven has stacks to work with, especially because they're going to be so far behind because of these track kills. They have to get these Ancients. They have to also think about maybe fighting again. They're down about 5,000 net worth, maybe even a little bit more than that. Those track kills really just crushed them that last fight. You could see absolutely dominating from Mousesports now.
So with the Yasha and Phantom Lancer, his damage is still a bit low. Static Storm's going to catch in the field. Does barely get him. Quakefoot in trouble. Oh, no!
Oh, he gets bashed again. They have the urn.
Oh,
it's the triple bash. Are you kidding me? Fly, are you serious?
Oh, my gosh.
Ice Frog, please.
At first, I was like, you know what? I would be okay if this guy triple bashed because he got a little unlucky by pushing him out there. But I just feel dirty now thinking that. Man, the bash Quakefoot, if he doesn't have a broken keyboard right now, that guy's got the patience saint.
Doppelganger. God damn it, it can't get out. It's the way it goes sometimes, that 17% black. Now going Necro 3, I believe he has both of the recipes in the stash. That's going to be huge for him, and he's ready to go. He's going to get ready to push down some towers, fight with his team as well. The mana drain is going to be fantastic, and Way 2 is just going to push out the crew wave. He also steals Stormhammer. That's pretty nice. Manta style for Quakefoot now on the Courier. All right, that's a pretty good item.
I do not like that build at all. I think it really limits his damage output. I think the best build is Diffusal Blade, maybe a Yasha first, and then you get Manta, and then you go Scotty or Heart, depending on the game. I just don't like the Manta first build. His damage is going to be so much weaker. I mean, maybe he can dodge things like Nether Strike, interrupting them, or if he does get Cog solo, he has 2 ways to essentially doppelgang, but I just don't like this build very much. I guess he can farm faster. That's one thing he's got going for him. I don't even know if it increases your farm speed compared to Diffusal Blade, though, so I don't completely agree with this, but Quakefoot's, like 85 times better of a player and carry player, especially, than I am.
I think he sees maybe Mercy Please going for this late game oriented build, and he doesn't mind going for one as well. There's a charge coming through. It is going to be up on the Bulba, but they won't complete that. Pylai Die is on the backside. He's a blink dagger now as well. That track fight really helped him out. The Sunstrike, but Fly jukes to the north, but they get the courier kill. That's the consolation prize, at least for Pylai Die. There was a point booster. There was a full BKB for Mercy Please. He's like, well, I could have fought, you know, right now, but now I have to wait 2.5 minutes. And, well, Schwann's caught between a rock and a hard place. There's going to be the track hook shot in from Omega Poner. Nice cog push. There's the Static Storm, but only on Suetsu. They will get that kill. The mech comes out, glimpse back in, not nearly far enough. There's the Viper Strike coming in. Storm Hammer onto Bulba. There's the God Strength. Bulba's going to fall. Walks right into his demise. Koifa get a doppelganger away. They don't have the mana for another Storm Hammer. They're going to get away onto the low ground. Necro 3 is finally done, but Black not coming to the fight. Still backing away to that tier 2 tower. And that'll be it. They'll pick up 2 kills on the side of Void Boys. They get plenty of gold in the process as well. They use a couple of ultimates, but that is a great fight coming out from them. They really needed that.
Well, every swing of Sven just cleared all the illusions. That was incredible. And Koikva's damage was actually pretty good. I was a little surprised there, but I guess he does have Treads, Aquila with the Yasha. It's a pretty good amount of agility items. I mean, Manta's like it's a pretty good stat item, and it's an attack speed item as well, so it really increases your attack speed a lot. And I guess individually the hero hits pretty hard, and that's making up. His illusions may not be able to do the annoying drain somebody's mana, but he does have decent right click if he's in the battle.
Think how much damage he'll do once he has the Diffusal Blade, though. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, far more. At least 66%-ish more. 0.3.
I'm always so surprised about how much damage that actually provides too. So Diffusal Blade, pretty good item on PL, and will do some work, especially. The biggest thing is they don't have the biggest mana pools on Void Boys, and you lose a lot of the damage when the mana is completely drained, I believe. So I'm not sure if that's a thing, but
that's a very significant thing actually. Once they're out of mana, like you said, they don't get the bonus feedback. So in that way, a Manta does far. Well, actually, it's probably comparable. Diffusal Blade gives you 20 agility, Manta's like 26, so it's actually kind of comparable, the 2 items. Wolf's going to spot out a Viper, and then he's going to Force Staff and Surge himself away.
He doesn't want to Force. Well, now he does.
Eventually will. He's going to have to Vacuum here to survive his survivability. Here comes the ultimate as well. If the Viper can catch up, that's going to be a dead Bulba, and it looks, the lift comes, Vacuum, the wall, that will be Bulba's death. I think Springbreaker goes down, he's almost dead, he does fall, and in exchange, that's a dead Viper. Sunstrike's off the mark just a bit, too many slows coming out of here.
No track.
No bounty.
Bounty's mid. Bounty's like, I don't have a TP, guys. I have no TP. Good luck with that one.
So I'm happy to see that Pylai Die's build is still the same on his support bounty. The only difference is that he goes Arcane instead of the Tranquil Soaring. Tranquil Soaring used to be more popular, then we started seeing FY of Vici Gaming going Arcane Boots, and he was transitioning into more like utility builds like Medallion, Urn, stuff like that. But I still think the Blink on bounty is something that too many bounties are ignoring. It's so good because you can do all these aggressive things, and then if somebody finds you, if they dust, you blink away, you're gone. You don't have to worry about dying. It's not the same.
The hero is really all about positioning. You want to stay on the edge of the fight, and if you do go in, you want to have the way to escape, or you can blink in if you really need to as well.
Initiate and start the damage, or you don't have to walk in and chance that they have a sentry. If they have a sentry up, Blink Dagger is still an amazing item. You jump in, you get your head off, you do your shuriken, and the damage output is still coming out of your hero. So I do really like the Blink Dagger. I think it's a great pickup.
I'm reminded of a Professor Fierce video where he talked about bounty positioning and how important it is, which, by the way, rest in peace, but and making sure you're on the edge of the team fight, and maybe to get in with a Blink Dagger, start the fight off, and always stay on the edge. There's a hook shot coming in. It'll be from Omega Poner onto Black. Black
really bad for
Static
Black.
Storm. Black is just absolutely housed. He's going to go down. Dunzo McDunzo. Mercy Please comes in, clears up a couple big limbs back on the way, too. They're going to try to keep fighting on this for Void Boys. Way too about to fall with the right click. Fly getting low, but great mech coming up from 747. They might even take a tier 2 out of this. They do get the kill up onto Fly. I don't know if it was tracked or not. I'm pretty sure it was, but
I didn't see it. PL gets the kill though.
That's Fusel.
Most of Mouse actually has Blink Daggers. So these hook shots are so important from Omega Poner, because if he does land the hook, it's a dead hero because they can get the follow-up. But if the fight doesn't go quite cleanly to start things out, Mouse will be able to kite. Diffusal Blade's up, and here's the mana drain. Goodbye, mana for Clockwork. It's gone.
Omega Poner's like, why? I have 8 sick charges. That is it. No bottle just coming through. They will take the tier 1, however, and they'll back away. He'll be able to regen his mana later, maybe even getting a rune or something, but still. I will say that this Sven is doing already a lot better than every other Sven I've seen in these American qualifiers. It's like, what, 23 minutes into the game, and they're still in a very solid position. The net worth graph might not be indicative of that, but he is looking pretty strong, and he's top of the net worth, in fact. Not by much, by like 100, in fact, but he's got his BKB now. He's going for Assault Cuirass as well, and that's the biggest thing.
Despite his 2 deaths, good net worth. His KDA is okay. for a carry. I would say it's not ideal. A lot of carries are going to be like, I want 1 death, no death, something like that. But considering his farm rate, he's doing well. And he's playing a bit of a different role. And I kind of like the way that he's doing this. He's still sticking with the Helm of the Dominator, not going for Mask of Madness. Rather than being like, I'm going to burst you down and hopefully kill 3 people within 2 seconds of cleave, he's playing the tanky, safe role. And he's putting a lot of skill points into Warcry. And I've been like whining about Warcry for like days, but it scales so well. Every single, if we could just take a look at the scaling for it, it's literally 5 armor per level. The uptime is 8 seconds and the cooldown is 14. It means for 8 out of 14 seconds, your whole team has 20 armor.
That's a ridiculous amount as well, especially early on in the game. Nether Strike on the highlight day, that was long range. They dust up as well just to secure the kill.
That was so well done. Like, if he would have charged by the time they got to Pi, he would have been on the other side of the river. And yes, he gets a bit more damage out of it, but the scary part is that if your opponents are even closer to the Bounty Hunter, that could be the difference in the team fight, being a good initiation or a bad initiation. So that was absolutely good use of his ult there. I really like that.
He's tracked up, or at least he was. They knew they were doing Roche. The Forge Spirits will confirm it. They're going to kill the Forge Spirits as quickly as possible. Waitsu's going to get scouted out by a couple of flares. There's going to be the Agnum Scepter for the Viper as well, which is pretty important long range. They're going to smoke in. Quakefa's walking in the front lines. Mercy Please is completely out of mana. They know this.
No ult either, so can't even Warcry pops a BKB, and that's all he can do is walk away. You can't not have a wand on a Sven, in my opinion. Especially against a PL. They're going to mana drain you. You have to have a way to get some mana if you really need it. If you had mana there, he could have Warcried. He could have casted his Stormbolt, but instead he has the defensive BKB and he's gone. One major mistake made by Void Boys here.
Is this going to be theirs? They do have the hookshot. They're going to just charge it
first and foremost.
There's a great ulti onto 4. Black now caught out of position as well. Roche goes down. Quakefa gets the Aegis though, but Stormhammer onto 2. Here comes Mercy Please. Stormhammer was stolen. 747 now in trouble. Vacuum comes out. They have somebody in the high ground. Flyby's back. Quakefa's still. Aegis ready to go. There's the Diffusal on Schwan. Sven is stuck on the high ground. He can't get out. They're going to have to take this fight without him. Bulba getting low, but not low enough. Omega Poner misses the cog, the flare. Bulba's still alive. There's the Diffusal. Omega Poner's going to fall as well. 747 is on his own, but here comes Fly.
That's got to be dead.
747's going to TP away. Bulba is going to go down. It looks like to this last right click of Fly. He will fall. They don't take the Aegis coming out of Quakefa. Oh, the stun! The Stormhammer. It came in from the Blade Dagger from way too. They are going to get Fly. That's a dieback coming out from the Spirit Breaker. And that Sven was stuck on the cliff for almost the entirety of the engagement. Mousesports, what happened? That was beautiful turnaround from them. They don't get that much gold, though.
That's even, man. 3 deaths and 2 buybacks from each team. That was the mid Invoker and the support Spirit Breaker. Not too bad. They didn't lose the Viper. He looked like he was vulnerable, and killing Spirit Breaker in exchange for the Darkseer, neither team has to worry about that. That was a completely even fight. I think that doesn't take into account track gold, though. I don't know how many times we saw tracks during the course of that team fight, but if they did get a couple tracks, they will get a gold advantage, but not too bad, I think, in the scope of things.
Yeah, it swings a little bit upward towards Mousesports, but the fact that Void Boys came away in that position is pretty good, considering the positioning of that fight. We talked about the Sven, obviously, on the cliff. That was huge. So Mercy Please, his BKB is back up. Like you talked about, there's going to be some mana issues. The Wand can obviously rectify that. Maybe, what other item can you get that'll help for that?
BKB's away, but if you're not magic immune when the illusions are hitting your mana strain, it's not like it just gives you mana, you know?
Yeah.
Does anybody have Arcane Boots on Void Boys? I don't. He wouldn't even want Tranquil Boots. I don't like that at all by Disruptor. Wow. I mean, I love getting Tranquil Boots on Disruptor, but this is not the game to skip out. It kind of is, because if you skip Tranquil Boots and you become so vulnerable to the PL because he does mostly physical damage, it's a hard choice, but nobody has Arcane Boots on Void Boys. And that's really scary. He's going to go Butterfly next. I think this is... if you miss, you don't cleave, right?
I'm not actually
sure. Gank on the top lane. I think you don't cleave. He's going to go for the TP. There's the Stormhammer, the lift. Very, very easy Viper kill. This is... He can't do anything to stop. That didn't matter. I mean, other than TP, of course. If PL somehow had a stun, he could kill that Viper 80 times out of 80. You know, there's no possible way that Viper can stop that. It's going to be a long time until Viper is able to come close to fighting PL.
Maybe he needs a BKB first and foremost to stop the Diffusal coming out. And
for the Viper?
Yeah. He's going for it. He has the Ogre Club. So, I mean, he needs some way to be able to just get out, or at least... Well,
oh, good hook shot. They're going to catch him. That should be a death.
That was blind, I don't think. I don't think they had any vision there.
No, he had the lightning, maybe.
They have the sentry on the backside. They saw where he's walking. It was still pretty beautiful. Bulba, yeah, strike. There's way too getting caught out. Stormhammer, he's like, oh dear God, the body block from the creep wave. Wouldn't have survived anyways. That is going to be a blink dagger coming up from Sven. He can get in and out of fights a bit more effectively now. They're trying to chase this, I think, for Mouse. No, they back away. Quickfoot is split pushing top with that Aegis. He's working on the tier 2 tower. In fact, he gets it too with just the illusions. And Fly's mana is just gone. It's nowhere to be seen.
That's a really good solution against the mana drain, though. He doesn't have to put himself in a position where he can get caught up with mana burn in there. They're going on Spear Picker again. He casts his Empowering Haste, can't even tell. He goes down, there's the stun, ulti is ult, BKB, Black gonna get 3-shot, and now the PL Illusion's getting cleaved down in 3 hits. Quickfoot jump into the high ground, great.
Quickfoot, no!
That's good for him, they're cleaving, he almost got the kill there. Late positioning adjustment from Sven, he could have gotten that kill.
They had
but he didn't know.
They had a cog push as well. They didn't know where he was, and I don't blame them. Oh, that actually looks so bad. I freaked out, but in the end, that might have saved his life.
I don't think Quickfoot tried to do that. No. If he did, he would have TP'd instantly. Yeah. He just sat there and was like, well, what do I do now? And instead, it actually ended up being his fault. And that would have been Aegis. Maybe he could have respawned and won the fight, but Sven was hitting very, very hard. That's the only solution they have for PL, and it's a good one. So Voidboys is definitely still in this. Not out by any means. The Viper, if he's the one that's trying to kill the PL and he's solo, he's going to get wrecked. But the Sven is the solution.
If they have their team there, if they're ready to go, especially with a Static Storm too, this becomes a lot easier for Voidboys, and you have to wonder what the PL is going to do against that. And also, Black just gets demolished. He didn't do anything in that fight. Maybe he got his minions out, but I don't think so.
Barely. It was a blink stun 3-hit. Dead with Static Storm on top, but that's little damage at the start.
Yeah. So Black now he hasn't really been involved in any of these fights. It feels like that seems to be a big issue. You have a Bounty Hunter. He's not really doing damage. I mean, yes, he's tracking. He's blinking in. He's getting some shuriken tosses and Janata's off. There's the Mask of Madness. This is exactly what you were talking about. He doesn't go for the armlet though. Okay. He might have just disassembled the Helm of the Dominator and maybe just kept the Helm of the Iron Will elsewhere or sold it.
Yeah. I mean, he's got enough armor now because of the AC. I think it's okay to sell it. You could look at it like a Midas. You know, he spent that 450 gold or 400 gold that he wasted for the item by stacking Ancient Camps. So that's what, 2 camps. If you stack at least 2 times, then you get the value from the helm being sold. So he is going to be a bit weaker to the PL, but I think the increased attack speed is definitely something that he's going to want. Again, he might have mana problems because it costs 25 to activate the mask and 25 to Warcry. So if his BKB's out in a long duration fight, might not be able to utilize it as nicely as the helm would have.
I feel like it really comes down to a good kinetic feel of Static Storm. Him blinking and storm hammering. If they can get that perfect fight, it won't end the game, but it's a really good advantage. Backing back in the 747, there's the track. There's a lot of heroes. Double hook shot, actually only under 1. Telekinesis, and I think 747 is just going to be. Track comes out. He does get the Viper Strike off. Doesn't really matter. The TP from Omega Partner, he'll get out, but again, 747 not really in any position to be able to retreat from that unfortunate engagement.
Must be so nice to play Rubik versus Viper. You always know they can grab an ultimate.
Yeah.
You just grab it, throw it out, and you're like, do I want to land a level 3 ultimate on Viper? Okay, I'll take that for free.
That sounds pretty good.
Ooh, Ags finished on Disrupt. This guy's 4-1 and 12?
Yeah.
You know what? I don't want to be mean, but he missed a lot of ultimates in the early game. I am so surprised that his KDA is that good.
Yeah, this is honestly great positioning. The Aghanim Scepter obviously increased damage coming out, stops the BKB for whatever hero is going to be going for it, and other items as well. And for Voidboys, this is just honestly a very good spot to be in. And like you said, I'm also surprised that he's in this position as well.
It's good he got it. Like, he can do so much with that. If they catch PL, with that, PL actually just dies. If it's Sven and PL, basically they're going to create a rumble pit, like a lightning rumble pit. If they create the rumble pit and Sven jumps in and he's like, hey guys,
the Thunderdome.
4 hits and people die. Catching 1, Bounty Hunter, great Force Staff, going to push him on out, but he does get cleaned up by the Rocket Flare charge coming as well. This game is very much can be won by Voidboys. It's looking okay. We are seeing some heroes get picked off, but they've got the tools. And with the Disruptor farming eggs, like, they can lock down the PL.
Yeah, this is, and we're going to see a lot more Disruptor as well. We've seen it already a lot in the American and Chinese qualifiers. This hero is starting to make a big resurgence, and I think for good reason. Soul Booster picked up for Black.
Octarine Core?
Yeah, it must be. I'm thinking.
He will not Bloodstone. There's no need. Yeah. He doesn't need that much mana.
That is an excellent pickup, I feel like, for the Invoker.
I've heard some people say that it's generally worth it to go X first, but I don't think it was any pro that said that. He will be charged here, but he can always tornado.
This is going to be really weird. He tornadoes up the charge.
Caught.
That's the Static Storm. Black in trouble now. Fly. Nether Strike's going to come through. They're going to get the bash up, and Black's going to fall. Wow. That is a super long duration. I mean, I knew the Aghanim Scepter duration was long, but it always surprises me with actually how long it is.
And it's actually a lot of damage. The maximum pulse does, what, 250 per second? That's like a Leshrac ulti supercharged. And for 7 seconds duration,
imagine if it's level 3-2.
Yeah, I mean, that was mostly damage from Disruptor. That was another strike doing tops 500, so that was a good... That was like a Laguna Blade with Aghanims that was done to the Invoker just there. Those pickoffs are so crucial. The Spirit Breaker support is completely doing work this
If they only find a way to kill Koikva, I think that's their biggest problem right now. Is he's split pushing, he's taking tier 2 towers, and he's just being a general nuisance across the map. And it's difficult. It's really kind of hard for them at this point. So
once they get a Blink or a Force Staff on the Disruptor, it's definitely a possibility. They just need to do a Blink and then cast ult.
Yep. Blink R button.
Okay, so he had Octarine Core in his last game. The nice part is that Octarine Core reduces the cooldown of Midas, reduces the cooldown of Necro, and all of his other spells. And the lifesteal can be nice. I think it's a pretty tough game for him, though. I dare say he needs a BKB. Maybe the Octarine was a bit too greedy. He would have lived there, guaranteed, if he had BKB. And a lot of these pickups are due to glimpses. So they're going in on the Viper. Do they have the stun? There's a Tornado. That should be a kill. Track as well. So Viper again. It's basically just trading cores for cores. One guy's core dies. He tried to steal that, but Black's like, nope, this one's mine. Trading cores for cores. Viper dies, then somebody on Mouse dies, and Viper dies again, and somebody on Mouse
dies. It's really
the
Viper on Void Boy's side. Fly's going to charge to the bottom lane. Sun's coming, I think, into this Roche pit just to see if it's up, which in fact is.
Found that TP. Somehow it didn't burn.
That TP is that is some fire-resistant paper. Hookshot comes into the top rune spot. They'll find Waitsu, gets forced out by Pilot, I believe.
Oh, double stun, doesn't quite get it off.
Mercy,
looking for it.
There's the fog coming through. Gets forced to the high ground. Mercy, please. He even pops the BKB for this. They glimpse back in under Bulba. He pops the BKB himself, and now
they might be able to kill Sven, but it looks like Clockwork might go down. There's the Tornado coming through, and 3 heroes to deal with this. They need to land the slow. There's a Telekinesis. That should definitely be a dead Sven. No, the charge comes in. That might save it. Stun on Black. Great blink dodge of the Stormhammer, and the mid as well. Black gets minis. That's it. He's not going to be able to juke anyone here, and he does end up going down.
He has no buyback. The Kerr died. Well, the Radiant title 3 seconds, and Koikva right at the top tier 3 tower. That might just be it. At least it's going to be this tier 3, maybe even Rax. If Void Boys are not careful, this is going to be tough to handle. There's no usage of that Static Storm coming out. Koikva knows this. He's going right to work. There's the Glyph coming through. Fly looking to do what he can, but he has no Nether Strike as well. And suddenly this tier 3 is falling low and falling fast.
The hero of the AoE is the one, and Viper may even get killed here. They've got to be so careful. It's definitely something Mal can go on if needed. Melee Barracks falls. They will retreat after they finish the range barracks, and
there's still tier 2s left, so the damage is done. Void Boys shouldn't panic yet. Once the Rax is pretty critical, but it's not game losing just yet. The biggest thing is going to be this Roshan as well.
That fight just needed to go a little better for Void Boys. The Sven, if he was slightly closer, if he would have blinked and immediately gotten the double stun, he obviously didn't have vision up there, reacted a bit late, and then the super sick plays from Clock to force the Rubik to the high ground, guaranteed them that fight went well. Then the Sven wasted his ultimate timing, he wasted his BKB timing, just a really bad situation for him. If he got the double stun, that was 2 dead heroes. A small change in that fight could have been so big.
Absolutely, and Void Boys now looking down the barrel of losing a set of Rax and maybe Roshan as well. In fact, definitely Roshan. They're going to get this Roche, they're going to get the Aegis. No cheese, only the second Roche coming out. They'll probably sit back and farm for a bit longer, maybe wait it out. They do have the Octarine Core coming up from Black. There is no buyback for the Sven. How close is he to that buyback, in fact? He's sitting at 1,400 right now. The buyback is 651 away. In fact, they have no buyback coming out on any side of the Dire team, so that's pretty huge. He does have that Daedalus coming out pretty soon. I believe that's the recipe in the stash, in fact, is. So he's only 1,000 gold away from that, but at this point, buyback might be even more important for the Sven.
But in the same vein, if they get the Rumble, that's GG. That's the scary thing about Sven.
Really? Just GG?
Oh, easily. I mean, you could very easily get a 5-man swing with Sven if things go well. I mean, that's why Sven was picked a couple years ago. Darkseer Sven, if you get the right vacuum and you 5-man stun, he just dies. It's essentially exactly the same as Magnus plus any melee carry. If you get the good RP and they have Empower, bam, they die. But Sven's a little scarier. His crit damage is so high. Nags on Rubik, way too sexy, man. This guy is so good.
What is with the, like, I know Rubik has had like a losing record this tournament, but the top 2 Rubik players, like Fly and him, and just every other Rubik I've seen, honestly, at least I've casted, they have made some ridiculous plays. Way too's been on point. He's died a couple of times, but the fact that he's an Aghanim Scepter, especially with the Disruptor in the game, is so important. Not to mention
that's a good point.
Strength.
He could steal that. It's hard though, because he's gonna always cast Kinetic Field very, very similar in time. But what else could he grab? Viper ultimate. He's gonna have that super charge. He could grab the Sven ultimate. That would be insane. He could buff up his team's damage massively. Clock ultimate would be okay. Literally everybody on Void Bolt, any of his ultimate could be great, but mainly the Viper one is the easiest. 12-second cooldown on that.
He's going to have that literally anytime he wants. Anytime he wants.
He probably doesn't even need to hold it, because he could steal that every 5 seconds a Viper is around.
Yep, that's true.
But he has to wait for the cooldown. It's individual. He can't just cast it every 5 seconds.
Yep.
That'd be cheap.
That would be...
Not that 12 is much different, but...
Yeah. It's a lifetime in Dota 2 sometimes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So looking really good for Mouse. I think the difference between the Rubik players is maybe kind of a trend thing. You see the top teams picking him, and then your team's like, okay, these teams are using this. That's obviously good. Let's try it out. And they just can't execute it quite as well. And as well,
hard hero to execute.
You know, it's about win rates as well. The teams that are losing are having other issues. It may not be Rubik. So I think that's just the trending the trending losses of losing teams.
Quickfoot has his Scotty. They're going to go for a push into the mid tier 3 tower. All of the outer towers now gone. The illusion's going to go to work, and the Scotty's ready to go. Fly sitting back. They do have the Disruptor ultimate. Quickfoot sitting in the back line. He's going to throw up the Spirit Lance.
Mana Drain.
This tier 3 tower,
they're actually so tanky now.
Yeah, this tier 3 tower is actually so rough. It's about to fall. They're just going to lose this tower. Their racks are now naked, and not only that, but they have to defend against the top lane, always pushing in.
He's out of mana.
They actually, like, Mercifully just has to go home. He doesn't have mana for God's Strength. And this is going to be a range Rex, it looks like. There's the Necro Warrior just going to work. Quick goes right on the melee Rex. They have no glyph, apparently.
That's it. Melee Barracks is down.
Is this just going to be it? They're just going to lose 2 racks for free, essentially. They're going to not be able to contest because of, I guess, Diffusal Blade and just Mana Drain.
Literally the Mana Drain. That's all it took. They had to hide Sven, maybe use a smoke, and then jump in and go for it. That was the only way that was going to work. And now they took another Rax disadvantage. Void Boys falling apart here. They're doing their best. They had a close game. It's not over yet, but they... going 2 racks down and then coming back makes it so much harder.
They need to go, and 747 is going to be out front. There is that smoke, but it might be too late. Omega Porter is going to get revealed by Pylai Die. Where's the rest of this team? 747 is at half HP right now. They still have the Aegis on Koikfa.
He might just die to those illusions.
Yeah, so there's the hookshot to initiate things off. They've got to fight here. They're going to find Black, but he's going to get forced out. Stormhammer.
Oh, that is
the cleave. That's what I'm talking about. They get a double kill immediately. Koikfa's still up on the high ground, ready to go. BKB is about to go down, as well as God's Strength. Koikfa comes back in. TP coming through. That'll be from Viper. Gets through. Koikfa's going to be spotted. Now Doppelgangers. I don't think he got off. Meanwhile, they jump back in. Mercy, please. Great tornado from Black. There's going to be the Deafening Blast as well as the Meatball. Mercy, please. Dropping low. Look at that damage coming through. He's got buyback. They do have the Aegis still on Koikfa. Doppelganger. Fly will fall as well. He's got buyback. He's going to have to use it. Koikfa just running in. 747. They finally get the Aegis, but there's no God Strength. BKB should still be down. They've got that Daedalus and Mask of Madness. They need a Stormhammer. He gets the Doppelganger. Koikfa now gets up the Spirit Lance as well. There's the Viper Strike. Charge in. Koikfa in trouble. Forced away. Tornado whiffs. Black jumps in. The Ice Wall to cover the retreat. They actually have no mana on that Sven to throw up a Stormhammer, and Koikfa is going to bring down this tier 3. It does get glyphed up, but the last couple of seconds it should fall here. Hookshot on the backside. No, it doesn't connect. Omega Poner is actually dealing with a creep wave right now. The Rack's in trouble. This might be Mega Crips. This might be the series. Void Boys, they're on the tail end of this one. It's not done yet. They're just defending as best they possibly can, but dear God, Koikfa with that Aegis, they couldn't find a way to deal with him. Even with that double kill, he's a Moonshard now. He's so freaking big.
That could have been many other items, but the Moonshard obviously increasing his attack speed by 120%. I think I would have liked an Abyssal Blade better, but he can always grab that afterwards, and honestly, they're so far ahead, I don't know if it matters. That means... Yeah, he's going to be able to just kite Sven, and that's what keeps happening. Just sends his illusions. Like, you can't do the slow defend against the PL in this situation. When your wave clear isn't that good, you can't clear PL illusions very easily. He just throws a lance, and all of a sudden you've got 3 illusions draining your mana. And then when your mana's low, you have to go heal, and it's the easiest racks ever. And it's such a small thing. They just had to have that first smoke gank plan on the mid racks, and they needed to win that fight. And now The push came in bot. They got a tier 3 tower, and they still didn't go well, and they lost. They had to buy back as well. So
it was a really cool double kill. Don't get me wrong. That
was sexy. That's what happens. He jumps in. If you get the double stun, that's 2 dead heroes.
What happened to the Disruptor? Did he get his ult off in that fight?
I have no idea. The fight was crazy, man.
I don't think he did. I'm pretty sure there was no Disruptor ultimate in that fight, which is pretty bad, but also speaks to the positioning of Mousesports again.
Yeah. It's hard for him to come forward because the illusions can very easily target him and bully him out of lane.
Yep.
He would die very easily, the illusions alone, because now they have so many stat levels. Even without mana pool, they do a lot.
Look at this Smoke of Deceit gang coming in from Mousesports. They're looking for the side of Void Boys. They might even find Schwan here, who's up in the high ground. They actually will. Wait, who's going to come in? They jump in. Immediate reaction coming through. They're going to get up the Static Storm as well, but they don't catch anybody. God Strength vacuum onto one. Walls down, doesn't catch on anybody either. There's still a couple of heroes on the backside. They get 2 quick ones. The supports, Pilot die as well as the Rubik, but meantime, Disruptor will fall. There's the Tornado, the Meatball as well. Omega opponent's going to try to TP away, but look at how low this Sven is. He is going to go down. He does not have buyback. He's dead for 120 seconds. Flies well, pops the BKB. Sunstrike coming through, but he dodges it. Doesn't matter. 3 dead. TP away from the Viper, but with Koikfa and Black still alive, that is going to be it. GG is called. Void Boys, they are done, despite playing so well throughout the entire group stages, but Mousesports, they clean it up pretty handedly, 2-0, Purge.
Yeah, they're just obviously the better team there. Really good support rotations out of Mousesports. Really solid laners. Koikfa got a ton out of his lane. He transitioned it. I loved his item build. I maybe wasn't completely happy with the Manta first, but all the items after that I think were completely perfect. And you know, they moved around the map. They played it slowly. They did some safe push, something they didn't have to do the first game, but it worked out great. To join us, we got 2 new guys, Capitalist and Honey. What do you guys think?
Well, I thought that, I mean, so to start things off, game number 1, it seemed like we were a little bit mixed on the drafts. We didn't lean too heavily as a panel one way or the other. We obviously, you know, slightly leaned, some of us towards Mouse, others towards Void Boys, but I felt like game 2 was a much more decisive draft victory there for Mousesports. At least that was my take on it. Honey, what did you think?
On the game number 2?
Yeah, game number 2.
Yeah, I think going at the game number 2, Void Boys, I felt like going with carries such as Sven and the mid lane Viper is just very tough because you put yourself into a very risky spot, right? Once you make a mistake, coming back from that is very tough. And I felt like